Hi, hello. It's nice to be again at DevConf. Today I want to share my experience of being a witness in court due to the project that I had an opportunity to participate in. It was quite an interesting experience, but first I want to ask you if you had the opportunity to do the same. Did you have the chance to be a witness in court because of the work that you are doing on a daily basis? Raise your hand if any of you, or raise both if you don't want to be honest and you just want to hide it. Okay, so I'm the only one here. My name is Grzegorz Sztandera. I'm delivering projects, products and services for multiple years now. I'm also organizing TEDx events and writing books, fairy tales, story for kids. But at the beginning, the short disclaimer, I have the NDA with that company, so not all what I wanted to say I can say here. And also, this was my side project. So you will not find this company, for example, on my LinkedIn listed. A friend of mine asked me to help because he had a project and he has the stationary points of selling the goods. He wants to develop the new sales channel, for example, like standard Android, iOS, and the website, just to sell the goods online and also do the fancy visualization that was not on the market yet for those goods for the customers. And I entered the project for, the intention was just for the few weeks. Right now it is few years. And generally I was going to check the scope in the agreement and the result from the development company. At the very beginning, within few days, I discovered that there is not even 50% done, and we are a few weeks from the deadline. So I switched my role to analyst. I checked what was done, what should be done, what is the prediction of time. I said that it will be more or less 1 or 1.5 years to deliver what was asked in the basic contract. And at the end, I started the role as a PMO just to cover everything and make the things working. As you know, it didn't succeed with the software development company that we are working with, and all of the thing ended in the court. What was the way of working? At the beginning, they said, the company that was developing the software, that we are doing waterfall. Why? Because there was no money for Be Agile. And this is the first time that I heard that Agile is more expensive than waterfall. Quite interesting for me, but maybe that was the way of working of that company. So I pushed them to be a quasi-agile. We did some weekly, not daily, the applications, the new versions of the applications, for example, for Android, were delivered to us on a monthly basis, not once per a quarter or half a year. But at the end, we have once again the waterfall, but unfortunately, there was no water incoming to that. I joined the project in July 20. As I said, only for a few weeks. I was out of the project in February 21 because the companies arguing so much, so there was no sense for doing anything, and they just started to think what next, not to have the win-win situation, but what to do next without any success. And after that, first time I was a witness in court in October 2023. So 2.5 years after I jumped out of the project. There is one case, there is also the second case, so I was the witness once again. I don't know how many times I will be in the future, hopefully not much, because this is not the, I will say, best experience that I want to continue in the future. I know that there's third case also. The first one was raised by the first company. The second was in the same matter raised by the second company. So I was testifying more or less the same. I will explain it just in a minute. And right now in August, we had the decision from the first instance, which is opening the next chapters for these cases for the future. So how the testimonials looks like. We are receiving this nice piece of papers written in personally by someone in the court that they invite you. I prefer to call it invitation because it's more friendly name for this than the summon. So we receive this invitation, someone invites you for something, and as you were able to see on the previous slide, my first testimonials was with the second attempt because the first one didn't happen. Why? I called the court 2 days before what will be the number of the room. And what is important, on this nice piece of paper, you got also the disclaimer that if you will not come, you will be fined, or in case that you will not come several times, they can send police for you and they will just bring you to the court. So I called what will be the code, the room, if that's correct, and so on. And they said, no, we just reschedule it. You will receive the new invitation. And I said, why you didn't call me? Because we didn't. So in case that we will have the invitation for the con in the future, just check if they didn't reschedule. Because if you will not come, you will be fined. If they will not inform you, they doesn't care. What is also interesting, in the first invitation, I received the value of the litigation. So I didn't know what was the value of the contract between those parties. And the court was so nice that they just stated in this invitation what was the amount. So at least now I know it. And the testimonials looks like here. You are standing in front of the court, the judge. On left and right, you got the attorneys from both parties. And there is only one person on in one time giving the testimonials. The rest of the people are outside of the room, waiting in the corridor. I can say that on the first, my first experience with being a witness, one of the attorneys was totally unprepared. So he didn't ask any logic questions about the case. Even if you want a sample, I was asked if you remember the file, and he quoted the name of the project or the product, and probably you are also running or participating in the projects. You got the project name or the product name, and you got the Confluence Jira files, and half of them probably has this name in the title of the summary or something like that. And unfortunately, I asked what exact file you are asking for. So the product name, and I said there is a bunch of such files there, yeah? So I was not able to answer this question, unfortunately. So the attorneys or the court sometimes have the questions, and I have the answers, but not especially for the same questions. And you are relying on your memory. There is no something that you have your cheat sheet taken out of the pocket. You can read and state, yes, this was that date or something like that. No, you need totally to rely on what you remember, and you have the domain knowledge. Yes, the court, the attorneys doesn't. I think that the IT guys in the room were the ones that understood what exactly has happened, and due to the lack of, I will say, domain IT knowledge from the rest of the participants in that cases, it was really hard to explain it to them. Okay, but I did it twice. The interesting case is that twice with two different cases in the same matter, but just raised against each other from the both parties, the same court in Łódź, same building, not the same room, but same floor, and there were two different judges. And I was thinking, why you are wasting so much money to have two cases in parallel? And at the end, I had the feeling that one judge was just waiting for the result from the first case before he will issue his decision and so on, and it was extending the timeline and so on. This is wasting of our time and the money. In the first case, the judge even asked some logic questions to me. In the second one, none. In the first one, the answers, I was answering for about half an hour. In the second case, only 50 minutes. Why? Because I was asked the same questions. Both parties were at the first time also listening to it. They know the answers. It was even recorded on the video. So I was asked once again for the same questions, giving the same answers. There was no additional questions because everyone knows what I will say and what other will be say. And if you watch the US movies that they are taking the Bible and saying, yes, I will say only the truth, this is possible, but this is not mandatory on the legal basis in Poland. So the judge is saying that you are obliged to tell the truth, and you are just saying the truth, yes, and or not, but you are obliged to that. And the attorneys can ask for that. And in the second case, I was asked really to stand and say, yes, I will say only the truth and follow what the judge asked me for. Okay, some of the time and business case. So as I know the value of the litigation, this case is already taken 2 years of attorney's work. It is 4 years from my entrance to the project, that probably 5 or 6 years from the start of the idea. As we have the first instance verdict now, it seems that in the second case will be the first instance, there will be the second instance. So I hope that before 2030 we will have this sorted out, and I will don't wait for the invitations anymore. For me, it is out of sense for having this situation in code. Why? Because if we will take into consideration the average wages of the attorneys, and we will take into consideration that at least it will take 4 years of the cases in the courts, the both parties will spend more on the attorneys and the cases than is the value of the litigation. So for me, they will not be able to do the win-win situation. Okay, some fun facts. If you will be in the court in Łódź, you can find a shower. I accidentally find one. I don't know why we have a shower in the court, but there is one in Łódź. So if you will wait for your testimonials and you will need to refresh, there is a chance. Also, as we are used to be scanned on multiple layers on the airports, this is the same in the court, but also they had some fancy scanners for the water. I asked the security officer, why you are scanning my bottle of water? If you are thinking that, for example, I'm bringing some alcohol inside it or what? No, we are looking for more sophisticated liquids, yes? So they have the more advanced than this fancy scanner that is showing exactly from the chemical perspective what is inside the bottle. And of course, if you will receive an invitation in the future, you can testify online. But a hint, ask for it as soon as possible, because this is not so easy as we have in work, just to connect on Teams. From your side will be so easy because you will receive a link from code, but they will need to set it up, and they are quite old-fashioned. They will need to switch the room, have the technician. It will take, for example, half hour to set it up before they will start the case, and so on and so on. So ask for it as soon as possible. And at the end, as the main takeaway, I want to leave you with the sentence, don't do it. If you don't have the possibility or you can act before, don't make the situation to go to the court. Yes, you can act before. Yes, you can, for example, don't underestimate the requirements. Every one of us included in the project is giving the value. So you can add the value that will, at the end, give the situation that the project is completed. But if you are the management level and you are sitting to the table arguing about it, I had in my professional history the situation that for a few $1 million projects we just put the resignation letter from the whole contract on the table. And it was not because we didn't want to that the second party will deliver it. We wanted to sort out some of the real cases that we had in the project. And we talked, and at the end, from our side, we removed some of our requirements. They added something from their side. We had a win-win situation without going to the court. So at the end, we were very happy we got the product, because here, in this case, it is 4 years from the time that I entered. We don't have the product, and we will not have it ever between those two companies. So also don't delete the evidences. And I'm not saying in the meaning that someone will take it and use against you, but don't delete the evidences. You may need it, because after 3 years, believe me, you will not remember how many software versions you received. You will not remember what was the issues with the very specific one software version or something like that. So I had the documentation on my email. I have all of the emails. So I was able to build my knowledge before to prepare to the case, to my testimonials, and I was able to bring the value to the court. Of course, you can go to the court, stand and say, sorry, I don't remember. It is 3 years from now. Maybe it was this way or that way, but I don't remember, yeah? You will answer 10 or 15 questions like that, and they will not ask you any more questions. So this is also an option that you can choose. And at the end, the IT is the black magic for the code. So I had to explain what is KPI, what is agile, what is waterfall, what are the tests, yeah? What kind of tests we have, functional, non-functional, just a black magic for the code. So also be prepared that if you will touch any of the IT area, you will have to explain it, like, what is the APK? What is the difference between Android and iOS? That was the question, really. Okay, thank you very much. Hopefully, both me and you will not have such opportunity in the future. If you will have any questions, you can reach me on LinkedIn on here in the venue. Thank you very much.